Hey folks, it's Jim. I want to go over some things that I think are important, some new rider tips. If you're new into e-biking, or if you're new into biking again, you haven't ridden for 30 years and you've forgotten a lot of the things that you once knew. Okay, one of the problems that I see a lot of people complaining about is derailleurs not staying tuned. Okay, a lot of that has to do with moving the shifter while you're not pedaling, or someone else has come and played with the shifter while the bike was sitting still. Okay, that will stretch the cables, throw your derailleur out of tune in a very short period of time. Okay, and then you're going to have to tune it again. So don't touch your shifters unless you're pedaling. Just don't do it, or you're going to be tuning that derailleur all the time. You stretch the cable, now you got to adjust. Stretch the cable, you got to adjust. Or if your springs, anyway. Just don't touch the shifter unless you're pedaling, okay? So that'll save you a lot of headache with these. I can get 1,000 miles sometimes out of a derailleur without having to tune it because I use my shifters appropriately, okay? So just food for thought. Okay, check your cranks. Okay, down here, every time before you ride, check your pedal to make sure it's fully inserted, and it's stable. There's no movement, okay? The way you do it on well-go pedals, you can't do it by the outside because the pedal's designed to move. You have to grab the inside, the meat, and check it, okay? And most of all, you want to make sure this bolt, the pedal bolt, is inserted all the way into the crank. If not, you may have that loosen up on a ride, then you ruin your threads. Now you got to change your crank and your pedal, okay? So check that every time before you ride. You might want to have a wrench and just make sure it's tightened in, okay? And that's what I do. Now, and definitely once a week at least, okay? Please do that. Okay, next thing is check your spokes, okay? Run your hand around the outside section of spokes and the inside section of spokes, or left, right, all right? If you feel any loose spokes, get a decent spoke wrench and make sure that you secure those spokes. And you don't want to over tighten spokes. Go out and watch some videos on wheel tuning, rim tuning, all of that. Buy a quality spoke wrench. Do not cheap out on your spoke wrench, folks, because then you're going to strip your hubs and you're not going to like it, okay? You're going to be upset at, you saved your money on your spoke wrench, but now you're spending money on spokes, okay? So that's just my experience, okay? Don't cheap out on that component. Buy a well-machined spoke wrench that's reputable, that bike repair shops use. That's my suggestion, okay? So check your spokes. That'll save you a lot of heartache and help the machine last a lot longer. Okay, let's get into battery longevity. Now in here we have lithium cells, high quality cells. However, the biggest reason for accelerated degradation of a battery is operator error, or rider error, or owner error, whatever you want to call it. Generally, the manufacturers, their tolerances are good and the specs are good. The problem is we abuse the battery beyond what it's supposed to do. While this battery will go down to about 40 volts, 41 volts, 40 volts before it cuts out, don't ever do that. The first time you do it, the next time you do it, every time you do it, you're taking a chance at degrading your battery much faster than it should degrade, okay? It's called battery degradation. Go look it up. Watch a couple of videos on it so you know and understand that. I will not allow my LECTRC to run down to more than 44 volts, even though I can go much lower. I won't let it happen. Neither should you ever store your battery fully charged, okay? And you need to know that, all right? Lithium cells rest best at between right around 60 to 70%. Okay, that's where we need to leave them for most lithium cells. Look all this up in your manual and all that stuff, and go out and do some homework. Call LECTRC, ask what they think the storage voltage should be on their LECTRC, okay, on this battery, all right? And know and understand that, because most battery degradation is a result of owner-operator abuse of the battery and not even knowing it. A lot of people don't know this. Do not store your battery fully charged, okay? It will cause it to degrade faster. Okay, and same token, don't run it all the way empty. It causes lithium cells to degrade faster, okay? Rather stay between 20 and 20 when you're riding, okay? So stay at the don't go below 20% of the battery, and don't store the battery fully charged. All right, and you can look all that up and know and understand that. Okay, so battery degradation can be greatly accelerated by abuse of the battery. Okay, it's just the way lithium cells work. Okay, and I'll run this battery between 54 and 44 volts. Generally, I'll fully charge it, ride it for a training ride, then I'll let the battery sit. Okay, because it's at the sweet spot to store the lithium cell. Just something for you to know. Okay, safety and well-being. You know, wear bright clothes, all that stuff. Make your ride experience. Get a really bright tail light, and make sure you have a flashing headlight that gets riders or vehicles' attention during the day as well. That's just a safety tip. You can do what you want. I'm not here to sell you anything. Seats. A lot of you I see are going to bigger and bigger and fluffier seats, when in reality your discomfort problem may be the opposite direction. You may need to go down. This is my touring seat. When I'm going to ride any long distance or I need speed, look what I'm riding on. I'm not riding a big fluffy seat, am I? No, this thing is streamlined, sleek. Why? Because my muscles and my tendons flow much easier on my cadence stroke, which is giving me much more comfort as I ride. Also, you see this grippy part right here? That's so my butt bones stay locked on the seat where they're supposed to. All right, I'm not sliding around on the saddle. Big fluffy seat, your butt might be moving all over on the saddle. And then notice this cutout here. This means that vital areas of my body can breathe. We also have nerves up in this area. We don't want pressure there long term, and that may be some of the problem that some of you are having. It actually may not be coming from your butt. It may be a neural response coming from another place, okay? So don't be aware of that. Nerves travel a long way through our body. So actually, if you'll notice, any tour riders or any distance riders or avid cyclists, have you ever seen anybody who's an avid cyclist with a big fluffy seat? We don't ride them. There's a reason for that. They're not comfortable, and they're going to cause damage long term, okay, if you're an avid cyclist. And that's just something for you to be aware of. Go out and do your research, your homework, and know about that. You got a lot of nerves in a lot of areas. I strongly suggest you all look this up, especially in the position that you're sitting on this bike. I would lower my handlebars a little bit so that I'm leaning a little bit more forward, and we'll get into that also right here. Notice how the nose of my seat is tilted down. See that? If I were to put this in there, I have a negative angle, don't I? It's not flat, is it? All right, so it's just slightly negative. That relieves pressure in this area, as well as it helps me get my best cadence, and I'm structured on the bike for my saddle so that I'm getting less tension on my muscles or pressure on my muscles and the parts of me that are moving, okay? And that's just a suggestion. Go out and look all this up for yourself. I ride a Suntour NCX. I won't ride a seat post shock absorber. The reason why is it doesn't work with physics and they tend to fail, all right? So what I do is I ride the Suntour NCX that works with physics, up and down, the way gravity's gonna pull it. The other thing I like about the Suntour NCX, I'm not here to sell you this seat post anyway. There's 50 out there. Go look everything up for yourself. Do your homework. Know and understand what product's right for you. The reason why I ride the Suntour NCX is longevity, reliability, lack of failures. That's why. If I'm out on a 100-mile bike ride, the last thing I need is a failure because I can't carry a spare seat post and keep my weight down, okay? So I can't have this component fail, and that's why I ride Suntour NCXs, okay? Now, that's just me. You go out and pick whatever's right for you, but I like the way this is designed, easy to set, all of that. Seat post tubes are fine if you're just gonna be a weekend rider. I ride every day or every other day at least, okay, unless it's inclement weather. So I need reliable equipment that's going to last me and works with physics, okay? So that's just a suggestion. I'm just sharing with you what I do. And, you know, I thought bigger saddle better. Wrong answer. Much more comfort, the more streamlined, the more sleek my saddle is, and is it suited to my butt bones? Butt bones are the big reason for comfort or lack of comfort. So you need to know that. If I have a big fluffy cushy saddle, and my butt bones keep sinking in, I'm going to create more pressure possibly on nerve areas that I don't want. This is just a suggestion again, okay? You can buy whatever you want, ride whatever you want, whatever makes you feel best. But I think you should go see someone if you don't know a lot about it and you're continually uncomfortable and you keep buying different saddles. Have a professional help you. Find what actually works for your backside the best, because all of our butts are different, so we might all need a different saddle. So I can't tell you what to buy. I can only show you how sleek, slim, trim, and the lack of bulkiness that I tour on, okay? So that's just a suggestion. Now, by the way, that's why I like this LECTRC XP saddle. It's in a middle spot that's okay for me, okay? Next thing I use is long pants when I ride here in Maine, because we have ticks. Oftentimes I'm in the woods doing mountain riding or trail riding, wagon trail riding, other things. So I can tuck these in my socks or my boots. I ride a lot in boots. These stretch very good. Now these are Dockers, and I have to wear a slim fit now. My God, I can't. And so I had to buy so many pants that I didn't. I try and find them on sale. These are like 70 bucks originally. Got them for like 15 bucks. Waiting for them to go on sale and all that stuff, or Docker sends me an email, and that's when I buy my pants. Okay, these stretch really well. I don't even know I have them on. They protect me from the insects. Right now I'm getting bit up for black flies just doing this video, right? So that's just another suggestion. Some of you may be having an uncomfortable ride due to insects and all that other stuff, and you don't know that there might be something that will cover your whole body that's actually quite comfortable. The other thing I would suggest, rather than changing saddle, find a high quality pair of bike shorts, a decent quality, and that may solve all of your problems right there. But remember, there's pressure points, there's nerves. So sometimes bigger is actually not better, okay, when we're talking about comfort. In fact, all of us avid riders have discovered that. Bigger is not better for us. It's way more uncomfortable when I'm become an avid rider, okay? So these are just all tips. Remember, your safety and well-being and the longevity of your machine is up to you, you know? Do your pre-flight checks. What are you wearing? You know, make sure your upper body, this is what cars are gonna see first, besides your flashing light. So bright clothing, whatever you can do. Safety and well-being should be our first task as riders, right? And so we can ride for a long, long time, you know? So anyway, we're at 12 minutes. Yeah, the pants, you know, that depends on what environment you're in. I don't like my legs all bit up. So, and again, seats, you may be going the opposite direction you need to go for your comfort, and that depends on your backside. If you find yourself changing saddles again, go see somebody at a bike shop that knows about all this stuff and can fit you possibly for a proper saddle and solve your problems, okay? These are all just suggestions. You know, you're going to have to do what you want. But anyway, yeah, I think I've covered everything. Remember, shifters, don't move them unless you're pedaling. Check your cranks. Every ride, that's my suggestion. Check your spokes at least once a week, especially on this bike. It has a lot of power in that rear wheel. Okay, battery longevity. Remember, we don't want to store batteries full, and we don't ever want to deplete this battery ever all the way down. That's just going to make it degrade much faster. Seats. Bigger is not always better. And clothing, bright clothing, safety first, right? Hope you're all doing well. Enjoy your day, enjoy the ride. Let's get out there today, and I have a beautiful day here, and I will be riding a nice ride today. Not sure which bike I'm going to take, but hey, I'll figure that out when I get to it. Jim out.